I think we're live, maybe. I don't know yet. We'll see. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Qazi from cleverprogrammer.com. I should really get this whole streaming thing figured out. I'm still in the process of learning. But today we're going to talk about a very important subject, which is why your ideas must respect your skill set. And this will be massively relevant to you, and it's going to help you become more successful in whatever you are looking to do. It doesn't just have to be with coding, but I'm going to try to keep it specific to coding skills. Hi, a lot of people are coming online. Hello. Okay, cool. So I am going to be answering some of your questions, but I'm going to answer them a little bit later. First, I want to just talk about this concept, and then we're going to jump into some other things, okay? So, awesome. Okay, so first of all, what does it mean, right, for your ideas? I don't know if you guys remember my recent video where I talked about ideas versus execution. Somebody emailed me and they wanted to give me 0.5% for an idea that they thought was going to revolutionize the world, and I thought otherwise because they didn't have data, they didn't have any evidence, they just had words. So this is something very common, and it makes me think about what some of the myths that a lot of people who are not into coding or who haven't really started that they have. Like, for example, a lot of people think that right in the start they're going to create a game that's similar to Call of Duty or something that's like, I don't know, your next Gears of War. That's, very unlikely unless you start to actually develop some skills. A lot of people have, error occurred. Did my stream just go offline? I think it did. Oh boy. I'm going to jump in the chat with you guys for a second. Hey, yeah, guys, I think, am I offline? If I'm offline, would you just comment offline? Well, you can't comment, right? Because you won't be able to see this. Oh, man. Not sure how to get it back online. That's a little worrying. Oh, can you? Really? Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna assume you guys can still see me. Some of you guys are saying you can. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But let's jump back, okay? I'm gonna ignore what my screen is saying because my screen is saying you guys can't see me right now. Okay, so, one thing that is very important for you is as you're developing your skills in coding, let's say you're taking beginner tutorials. Somebody just said in the chat box they're learning HTML first, which is totally fine. Pick something, learn it well. I always recommend Python first because you can do a ton of things, including web development with it. And then later on, you can pick up HTML skills to combine the front end part of the website and apps building with your back end Python part. So regardless of what you do, you're going to need to do some kind of back end, unless you only do front end development, which for me is cool, but I don't really like it as much as back end because you're not going to get to work on the really cool projects, really cool stuff. You're going to be working on most of the front end stuff, which to me is not that cool. I'm not interested in, should I change that color, the green color to the red color? Should I make that button look more beautiful? Great. But I'm more interested in, for example, creating an app for Clever Programmer where I have extra points for you guys based on who's the most active on the website, who's finished the most courses, a leaderboard. That all the back-end stuff allows you to do that. Okay, so before I started my businesses, and for example, why my chess business didn't do so well was because I had tons of ideas, but I didn't have skills to bring those ideas to life. So I wanted to create a chess app. I wanted to do lots of things that required, like for example, I wanted to create chess puzzles, which you guys can actually click, move the chess pieces. And if you do it correctly, the game would go, nice, you solved it. So I had these grand, big ideas. But one of the reasons why a lot of that stuff failed was because I did not have the skill set to actually make that a reality. I had to hire a developer who I was paying like $90 an hour at the time. And we got some stuff done. But as a student who was working, part-time and who was making money from freelancing, I mean, even though I was making money, I wasn't working like all the time because I had to focus on my studies. So that was a very difficult thing to do, and I couldn't afford the developer for a long time, and I had to kind of call it quits there. And with Clever Programmer, I realized, okay, I need to take my skill set very high so it can be in line with my ideas, because my ideas were up here, you see, and my skill set was down here, which is a lot of the times the problem that I get for I hear from my students and that I detect in the real world. People have really screwed up conceptions of or misconceptions rather of what it takes to actually build apps. They think, oh, if I just take a beginner level course, I should be able to build apps, or I want to just create the next Minecraft. Could I do that in like the next week? No, you need to work really hard and you need to spend quite a bit of time to get to that level. Find resources that make it really easy for you to start building projects, but get your technical skills up before you have some crazy ideas, right? And make sure that you're matching your current skill set with your ideas. So what I mean by that is, if your current skill set is, I can only create something that looks like a table on my website, then your idea should be based around that. Like, for example, I wanted to create a link sharing app, which, the way you would look at it would be, I would have a table and then each column or whatever, each row would have an extra link. So I combined my skills of being able to create a table, and then my idea was a link sharing app that complemented my current skill set. But what is not realistic for me is to go, okay, I'll just create the next Minecraft, even though my current skill set is only being able to create a table or do a for loop in Python, right? That's just so unrealistic. And when you think about it, there are thousands of developers that are actually working on games like Call of Duty and Gears of War and whatever next, like Han, League of Legends, whatever it is, right? Frozen Throne, Warcraft. So it, first of all, took them many years, and it took them lots of skills, and it took a lot of labor and man hours. So you have to keep those things in mind. Really focus on becoming creative with your current restrictions and your limitations. That's what being resourceful is all about. Because if you just have a really ridiculous idea that is not in line with your current skill set, a lot of times you might get discouraged and you might actually quit and not pursue what you want to pursue. Okay? It gets discouraging sometimes. All right, so now I'm going to jump in a little bit in the comment section, see if you guys have any questions, and I'll try to answer them, okay? So here we go. Hi, Amit, Gaster, Dollar, Bill, UK. Thank you for telling me I'm online. Sorry for wasting your guys' time for a long time just going, oh, I don't know if it's in sync or whatever. Okay. My Facebook. All right. So one person asks me, Anya, I think, or Anja. I don't know how to say it. They asked me where I am from. I was born in Pakistan, and then I moved to United States at the age of 9 years old. I did not know a single word of English, and I would just walk around like I was practically mute. So, yeah. That's where I'm from. Sujit says he started my Python course. That's awesome. I hope you love it. I genuinely think it's one of the best courses. because I've been through like hundreds of different courses, and I wanted to combine and give you guys something that's really, really, really awesome. And I think at this point, having thousands of students enrolled with literally hundreds and hundreds of comments, I can say that it's working pretty well. So give it a try. My free course is called Learn Python. Join it, learn, enjoy, interact with the community, see how you feel about it, okay? Awesome. Let's see, guys. If you have questions, throw them down in there. While I'm here, I'll jump in and answer. I should get better with the live streaming. Maybe I should give you guys a little bit of warning and ahead of time when I'll live stream. But really, I'm kind of getting used to it, so I just go, okay, what the heck? I'm just going to jump on and do it. So that's what I've been doing. Okay. Divyansh says, hey, I'm in second year computer science engineering. CSC, is that something to do with electronics, with computer science? I don't know. I wanted to know, should I do internship or focus more on learning stuff right now? I would highly recommend doing internship. Learn, but build at the same time. If you have really like real skills, not just theoretical skills, that's what the market will value tremendously, okay? Please don't just become a book nerd, which is what one mistake I did. I would just study 20 hours a day and just build my theoretical skills, which helped out, but that wasn't helping me land clients. That wasn't helping me get jobs. So really focus on building a lot of the stuff as you go. Each time you learn something new theoretical, build stuff with it, okay? An internship is a great place to do that. It's great to have on your resume, and it's great to have ideas of projects that you can build, and it's great to have as proof and showcase. So then when you go to a job or a marketplace, I mean, you have real skills that they can see, tangible, juicy stuff, right? Because what one mistake that a lot of people make is they go, okay, I have this skill and this skill and this skill. Now you figure it out how I can be helpful to you. That's not the person who's hiring you. That's not their job. Don't leave that guesswork up to them. You need to actually have stuff built, so it takes away all of their guesswork. So let's say that they wanted to hire somebody who can build Python web apps, right? Don't go, oh, I've done so much theoretical stuff and studied it. And this is blah, blah, blah. This is my resume. Check it out. Have actually built Python web apps. So when you go to them, go, here you go. I have built Python web apps, and I think I'm going to be the perfect fit for you because of da, 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 da. Check out all these apps that I've built, or check out all these projects that I've done, and then go, and here's the courses I've taken. So I've also have some theoretical background in it. And that will make them go, okay, the two dots are connected, and we don't have to do the guesswork or figure it out anymore. Thank you so much, Divyansh, and you're hired. Okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, some other questions. Miguel Gomez goes, do you like Django? I absolutely love Django. As a matter of fact, one of my new courses is going to come out. So right now I have the course Learn Python OOP, which is I teach you object-oriented programming, but my focus is on helping you create apps, okay? So that's the course where students are getting great results, and we're building apps. And my Learn Python course, which is just for beginners and learning fundamentals. But where the new course is headed towards is actually helping you build web apps. And we will be using Django in there. So I absolutely love Django. It's great. Okay, Devyansh, you say, okay. Let's see, more questions. I understood, Miguel, what you mean by programming in Django and not the movie. The movie is awesome. I watched it. If you haven't watched Django Unchained, you are missing out, my friend. Go watch it right now. Like, you should stop the stream, get Django, and watch it. It was awesome. Jamie Foxx is in it, and he absolutely kills it. And I think Samuel Jackson is in it, and he is also doing great. Dollar Bill UK says, hey, man, I'm doing your Python course. I'm a complete beginner, but I want to build mobile apps eventually. Am I doing the right thing starting with Python, or should I just go straight into something like Swift? One of my friends, Matt, a great friend, he jumped into Swift. Swift is kind of built on C. C is really complicated, which is why I suggest learn Python first. And he ended up quitting programming when he was doing Swift. And then he came back around, and now after years he's doing HTML, blah, blah. I'm not saying that's going to be you, but Swift is a tough language to learn on its own. in the web-based course that I'm going to be building, I'm also going to be combining with some iOS skills. So we might actually be jumping into Swift and doing that. But for now, what I will recommend to you is get actual programming conceptual skills, then jump into Swift. So whether it's Python, whether it's JavaScript or whatever, pick a programming language, get good at it, then switch into more complicated languages like Swift, and then use it to build apps. So I'm not discouraging you, but what I'm telling you will really help you in the long run, because you're going to run into lots of problems, especially with a language like Swift. It's a little complicated. Highly suggest get good at the programming concepts using a simple language, then get more advanced and take Swift. That could be the next option for you. I have also worked on Swift apps just for fun, like projects, and I was able to put little things together. Even though I didn't do too much web development ever, mobile development in my experience ever, but I was able to quickly put things together and understand what the heck is going on because I have experience in programming concepts. So that's really the most important skill, okay? Learn actual programming, then languages and everything, frameworks you'll pick it up very fast. Best tip for a guy who wants to learn programming. Dragos asks me that. Best tips? Watch my video on 4 tips for coding beginners, okay? 4 tips for computer programming beginners. I think that covers a lot of them, but if I had to do a short rundown of, let's see where I can remember. 1, syntax. So a lot of people will make simple mistakes. Really pay attention to what you're reading. You might be missing a semicolon. That might be the reason why your code is breaking. You might be missing squigglies and parentheses. Don't think that you are past simple typos, okay? A lot of people get stuck with their coding, and the errors that they're getting is simply because they misspelled something, okay? So that's one of the things that I remember from that. There are other 3 main points that I give you. Go watch the video. It's going to save you years of pain. And keep things simple. Work on simple projects. Do them really well, and then move on to newer things, okay? So those are some tips I gave you right then and there. But go watch the video to take away a lot more. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm sorry I said your name wrong, Miguel. Okay, let's see. More questions. Need to start programming. Where should I start from? I would recommend starting with Python. Like I said, watch my video, what programming language should I learn first? That goes more broadly into what you need to do. But let's say that you will never have to do anything with, start with Scratch. It's MIT built that language, and you do coding with visual blocks. So if you really need to just start as a beginner, start with that. But a lot of the times why I don't suggest that is because with Python, you can build real world things. With Scratch, you kind of you can't do that. But if you have more time, then start with something like Scratch, because you get to visually understand how things work, then move on to Python. I think that would be a great transition for you. Awesome Dollar Bill UK, he says, great advice. Thanks for answering that. I'll keep going with your course. Awesome. I wish you the best, and always I'm here to help. Ask me questions, and I will try my best to answer them for you. Master Trout says, are Treehouse courses good, or should I save the money? They're really good. You can save the money, but what I always think about is colleges will charge you $50,000, $100,000 a year. And if their membership is like $30, $40 a month, why? Just pay the money and take the course. If you don't like it, I think they allow you to do a refund or something like that. They give you a trial. But really, guys, stop being scared of paying money to actually learn. Some resources are great. Some, you can learn for free as well. Like Codecademy has great resources. Udacity has great resources. Coursera has great resources. But if you can boost your learning, and if you have to pay extra, don't be afraid to do that, because remember, colleges will charge you like crazy, and these online platforms provide you with so much information, and they charge next to nothing. For example, one thing Udacity really helped me. I was taking their nano degree, which was $200 a month. I know some of you guys may be going, oh, that's a lot, but come on, $1,500 for a college course that barely teaches you anything. I think that the Udacity course was free practically compared to that. And my ROI on that one course was $20,000 because I landed a client and I was able to charge them like a ridiculous amount. So anyways, think in terms of ROI. Don't think in terms of how much money am I spending. It's not just an expense. If you get your money back, you're good, right? It's not like you're just throwing your money down the drain. If you're getting a skill set that will actually pay you later on, it's totally worth it. It's really important to go for something that really connects with you. So let's say that you found a free resource somewhere and all the material is there, but you're not connecting with the way that that person or that institution is teaching you. But let's say you go to a place like Team Treehouse and they're really connecting with you. Those instructors are like right on point for you. Then I would say, and the material is covered the same, but you connect more with the Team Treehouse course, go with the Team Treehouse course because value your time, okay? Value your time because for a lot of you folks understand that your time is extremely valuable. If you take this time to really 10x the rate of learning your skills and getting good at it, you're also going to be getting 10x a result back, okay? So do that. And I don't know if I finished my Udacity note that I was talking about earlier. I took their course, paid $200 a month, and I was getting personalized feedback on my projects, and that was just invaluable to me. That made me so good in such a little time. I mean, I was dying for that kind of feedback. So that's what I would say. Focus on, like, learn, enjoy learning. If you have the budget, pay for the course and continue moving on and learning. Okay, what are my thoughts on C++? I like C++. I really enjoy it, but it's something that I don't work a lot with. I love Python. I spend most of my time in it. But yeah, C++ will be it's really good on, when you're creating games. If you're creating games, you need speed. C is going to be your friend. And Unity is also built on C. So if you're using Unity to build games and then you need to combine actual coding, then C++ and whatever is going to help you. I'm not a huge fan because the same thing that takes me 2 seconds to do in Python takes me like 2 days to do in C++. I'm personally not a big fan of it, but there are tons of things you can do in it in terms of optimization and speed that you might not actually be able to do in Python. So that's my answer. What can I use to run Python codes? Fatty asks. Terminal, command line, PowerShell, depends what you're sitting on. If you're on Windows, terminal and or CMD is what you're looking for, and PowerShell is what you're looking for. If you're on Mac, command line is what you're looking for, terminal, whatever you want to call it. You can write a Python script, save it as a .py file, then go in your command line and then run that script. That's how you run your Python codes. Or get an editor like PyCharm and then just run your Python code from directly in there. It's going to require you to be less tech savvy. If you don't know how to run your Python codes, watch my tutorials on Python. You can also run your Python code from the idle, IDLE, okay? So install Python, idle comes with it, and then run the Python code in there. My courses cover that in great detail. I also have a free course on YouTube, Command Line. Watch that. They'll teach you how to use the command line to run your programs. What things? Mark asks, what things do you look for in a good laptop for programming? I'm going to UNI next year and need a laptop. What's good for coding? Good laptop for coding. I love Apple so much. I have used Ubuntu. I have 11 Windows PCs at my house, so I also like Windows. I have on VMware, I had Ubuntu, so I have used that as well. And then I have used a Mac, Apple OS, and Ubuntu. Okay, here's the breakdown. Windows sucks for programming. I hate it. The command line is just not built perfectly. And you have so much trouble installing and integrating the same things that would take you 2 seconds in Ubuntu or macOS. So I'm going to eliminate Windows right away. But don't let that handicap you. You don't use that as an excuse to not become good at programming and learn it. You can still do those things. It just takes longer, and that's okay. You can still use C9.io. Okay, C9.io. It's a website that lets you have an online coding environment. So it's its own operating system essentially, and you can do it for free on there. Okay, so you get an operating system that's Ubuntu, so you get all that awesome power. Okay, so for me, Windows is out. It's between Ubuntu and Mac OS. Ubuntu has lots of compatibility issues because it's open source, and when you get into the open source world, they don't have as much money as Apple and Microsoft does, and so they just have some low quality stuff, and they have certain problems with actual I don't think you can have Photoshop on there. So that's really annoying to me. I want to be able to do daily life things. I don't want to just sit in the command line and be like a nerd. Like, I want to do lots of other things on my computer too. So Ubuntu has the best command line. You can pretty much write sudo blah blah blah. I forget their one thing, but it's like this one line usually for installing everything, and it's super helpful. But for me, Mac, it combines compatibility with a powerful command line, and then it gives me the perfect coding environment. I would recommend getting something with Mac if you have the budget, or you sell a bunch of your Windows stuff and then get Mac, okay? That's what I would recommend. And when I didn't have the money, I just got a Mac and then got on some kind of plan with them where I paid $100-$200 a month, and that helped me. Okay. More questions. Let's see. Can anyone be a programmer? I like this question, and I will answer yes. Anyone can be a programmer. And I'm not just answering it like, oh, lovey-dovey, like everything is happy in the world and everybody can do it. Yeah, I genuinely think everybody can be a programmer. I had like really horrible grades in high school and in college. Also because I didn't really care about it that much, except for the classes I really loved. Like, I never had low grades in computer science classes or math classes. I enjoyed them. I wasn't good at math. I was really, really, really bad, but I just enjoyed it a lot, so I would spend a lot of time working on it. For becoming good at programming, it's like becoming good at learning a new language. Yeah, it takes time, but I think that everybody can learn at least one new language starting today. So with programming, I think that's what it is. And if you develop love for it and a passion for it, you can become good at it. It's really taking your ideas and digitizing them into reality, making them actually something that you can share with the rest of the world. I think that that's such a great and amazing thing that it's worth spending time to learn it. In short, yes, anybody can become good at programming. Okay. What should I learn after beginner's Python course, intermediate Python course, or start building some projects, work on real things? Okay, Sujit, that's what I would say. Stiko, when you say Windows is bad for programming, do you mean specifically for Python or just in general? Just in general. There are just lots of problems that you get into with their command line system. It should not handicap you from achieving your goals or doing anything. It just stops you from. It makes it really hard to get to where you want to go. And I always found it really annoying to work with. So, and any of the students I worked with. So I cannot recommend Windows. But yeah, so it's not specifically bad for Python. I just don't like it for almost anything. But something like JavaScript, you pretty much need to work in the browser and you should be fine. Okay. I'm looking through some more questions that I think would be valuable to you guys. Okay, this is a great question. I think a lot of you will find value in this. I think you will personally find lots of value in this. Miguel asks, I'm not going to say your last name. He says, I'm becoming great at Python. Should I keep improving my skills or learn a new language? Why learn a new language? Why stick with the same language? Let's get into that. So, first of all, why would you need to pick up a new language? I like to think that it's a bridge that you should cross when it comes. Okay, you're becoming good at a language. Now, the next step is build things with that language, right? It's like, oh, I got really good at English. Now what should I do? I mean, you can go learn Portuguese. You can learn, you can learn any other language. You can learn Urdu. But the reason why you got good at English, so you can do something with English, right? I would try to find actual jobs in English. I would try to make friends who speak English. I would just become a part of that community of English. So, United States, for example. So learning one programming language is important, but really understand the concepts and then start to build things with it. And I would only learn new languages either in real life or in computer programming if they're necessary to get me to do what I need to do. So for example, if you're building web apps with Python, yes, you're going to need to learn HTML. You're going to need to learn CSS. You're going to need to learn JavaScript, because even if you're building the back end with Python, you're going to need to know how to code the front end, which is the beautiful parts. Like you click a blue button, things drop down, all that beautiful stuff. But the logic, the code, you have to write a lot of it in a back end with Python, for example. Okay? So that's when I would learn a new language, when I need it. Okay, I think I'm going to take a few more questions, maybe one or two more questions, and then we're going to end this one. And the next one I might actually announce. I'm not sure. Okay. Which course would you recommend first, edX or yours? If you're going for C++, I would say CS50. Great course. It's an unbelievable course. I absolutely love it. Amazing. That instructor is so damn good, and their presentation and their production quality, everything is massive. So if you are learning C, C++, or, highly, highly, highly recommend CS50. For Python, which course would you recommend? Okay, for Python, I would recommend my course. First of all, because it's my course. Second of all, because I genuinely believe it's an amazing course. And again, a lot of people are taking it on YouTube, and there's great, great, great feedback. Just the other day, I tweeted out one of my students' projects, and she built a Python app, like with a graphical user interface. It's simple, but you have to keep in mind, again, we're not talking about Call of Duty type of projects, because you're one person, first of all, and you're just learning how to program. So keeping that in mind, what she put together within 1 to 2 days of taking one of the Python courses, she was able to put together a really cool app, which I actually even shared on Twitter. And lots of other students were able to put together really cool things as well. So for Python, I would recommend my course to start off with. I think it's really good. But if my way of teaching is just not working with you, that's fine. I will recommend to you course on Coursera, and it's called Intro to Interactive Programming in Python, which I think is also a really good course. And then on Udacity, you have some Intro to Computer Science courses, which I think are really good as well. But I think for just starting out, I think my courses are really good. Okay, thank you so much for response. Okay. All right, this myth I want to break every single time, any chance I get. I don't care if you have seen it 1,000 times, me talk about the same thing, but I'm just going to keep doing it over and over and over again till you guys just eliminate this BS from your heads. You don't need to be a math genius to get good at programming. You don't need advanced analytical or crazy logical skills. I've worked with students from 6 years old to like 65 plus years old, and they were able to pick up programming, learn it, and actually build things. It just takes some time. But first of all, you have to enjoy it. Okay, that's what's really important. Okay. Let's see. I think one or two more questions. I think I said that before, but these questions are just so fun to answer, and I just want to be able to answer them. I'm sorry if the video is getting really long, but I honestly just have so much fun talking to you guys. Okay, Mark, thanks for clarifying that by uni you meant university. That's fine. Okay, so somebody asked, do I have to learn computer sciences to be a good programmer? I mean, is that a necessary thing? My answer to you is a big fat no. Now, let me clarify myself. I'm not discouraging you from actually learning. I'm not discouraging you from using academic resources to take your skills to the next level. I am not discouraging that, okay? But what I am discouraging is depending on academic knowledge as a crutch. Like, I've seen people not research things on their own. I've seen people just never work on anything on their own for fun. And they just use the academic knowledge, the computer resources to learn, to study. And if you tell them, like, hey, why aren't you working on something on your own? They'll be like, oh, I'm just waiting till I get the next homework or the next project. That's what I highly discourage. It's really easy to pick up computer science skills on your own, okay? There's just way too many resources out there online. Make academic learning only one part of those resources. School should only be one of your resources that you use to supplement your knowledge and your learning, okay? Develop a strong passion, love, okay? Enjoy what you do. And what I encourage is 80% fun, 20% should be actually learning new skills. What I mean by 80% fun, if you learn a new concept, stop the video, go start building things off of it, have fun, enjoy. Don't just keep taking notes in your notebook and then just flipping, going to the next page, going to the next page. You're going to remember it for that one day, but a week later I tell you code something up on your own and you're just going to be with a blank face looking at me. So what's going to happen to you when you go at a job? Let's say I'm actually interviewing you. You want to work for me. I'm going to ask you, hey, I see that you have listed skilled at object-oriented programming, understands inheritance, understands this, is able to work proficiently with different libraries, is efficiently able to do all this stuff, right? Data analytics. But then I ask you, actually, okay, let's build something, write some code for me, and I give you actual exercises and problems, and then you just look at me like, I don't know how to do that. And that's why I wouldn't give you a job and nobody else will either. Ultimately, it comes down to actually being able to do things in real life. So I would recommend have fun, build things as you learn them, because it doesn't matter how many skilled things you learn and you can just name them, right? Like people do this name dropping thing in programming too. But when you actually get to the core, their knowledge is weak. They can't apply that knowledge, okay? So computer sciences is not necessary to learn, but it can really help supplement your actual knowledge. 80% fun, 20% actual learning, okay? Okay. Okay, I'm just going through some questions. Again, I like to answer questions that can help as many people as possible. Somebody said I should enroll in your OOP course. Yeah, I would recommend you enroll in one of the courses, but first have a few skills, like learn just a little bit basics, okay? And again, my free course is good at doing that. Then after that, if you want to enroll in the OOP course, definitely do so. I think it's tremendous. We have 24 students now, and we have a Slack community where you get to talk with me, you get to talk with everybody else in there, and then you guys can actually build and work on projects by yourself as well, okay? So if you're interested, definitely look into that. I think it's a great course, and in that course, I take your theoretical knowledge and teach you how your code turns into an app, how your code turns into reality, okay? So we're actually building things that have a full graphical user interface, because let's be real, when you're sharing this stuff with your friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, mom, I don't care, you're not going to be having them sit at the command line and type stuff so it prints out on the console. Like, that's boring. You want to actually have them have full real apps that they can actually point and click, just like how you interact with YouTube. Do you see code anywhere? But it was built using code. Just right click anywhere, and if you're on Chrome, or I think Safari even has it now, I'm not sure, but you should be able to see view page source, and that will show you some of the code behind the actual page you're currently on. Okay, so you want to actually, when people are using your app, you want to just have them deal with the GUI part of it, the graphical user interface. That's the fun thing, because you're building these apps for humans, and that's what I'm teaching you in that course. I think it's a great course, and we're constantly adding newer and newer things on that course. We're also doing lots of live sessions in there, so I'm going to be there with you, helping you debug, write code as well. So I just think it has tremendous value. Definitely look into it. Yeah, that's how I would answer that. How do I learn Django? That's one of the new courses we're going to work on that pretty soon. Okay. Somebody asks, okay, I'm on a tight time schedule. Is it possible to take an intense crash course? Is your information compressed? I discourage intense crash courses, okay? I highly discourage them. You will feel like you're learning a lot because there will be lots of buzzwords in there and lots of technical things. And then one subject to another subject. We'll talk about learn object-oriented programming for 5 minutes. And next 5 minutes, we're going to talk about something else. It's not going to make any sense to you. Ultimately, you're just going to waste your time. I discourage looking at just intense crash courses unless you truly say you're on a tight schedule. But again, I want you to get the most bang out of your buck, and I'm assuming you want to learn programming to get employed for it, either as a freelancer or at a job. And rushed learning is not going to be the answer. But I don't know. I just can't recommend an intense crash course type of thing for you, honestly, because I've worked with lots of students personally who wanted to take intense crash courses, and they did, and they just don't get the material. It's going to be helpful. A crash course is really helpful when you have some pre-existing knowledge. So let's say you worked in C and you have lots of knowledge in C. Now you want to pick up Python. Intense crash course will really help you. You really want to take an intense crash course, look up Derek Bennis, and he has a programming channel on YouTube where in 1 hour he goes through an entire programming language, okay? Watch that. But if you think that's going to actually help you take your skills to the next level, if you're just starting out, absolutely not, okay? It's going to teach you a little bit, but really actually teaching you concepts and things that you can actually apply on your own. If you have nothing to look at, you're going to have trouble doing it, okay? But if you're interested in a crash course, go look at Derek Bennis. It was really helpful for me to look at his channel when I had some experience in programming and I wanted to pick up a language like Ruby. So I got to learn how to do object-oriented programming in Ruby, how to build certain things in Ruby, how does something in Ruby connect with something in Python, and I got to pick up all those things watching one video, okay? That's what crash courses are good for. They're not good for learning something for the first time, and I would recommend that if you're on a tight time schedule, schedule 30 minutes a day, and take a normal course, okay? What can programming help me with? Ryan asks. It can help you with almost anything. So if you see my video, Why You Should Learn to Code, which talks about the top 4 reasons for programming, I am actually interviewing people in a mall, and I help them connect how programming languages can help them. That might be helpful for you to watch. But literally, it can help you if you're doing some kind of research. It can help you if you're trying to create games. It can help you creating web apps. It can help you even do fun things with your friends. I created, my brothers and I, we play soccer. We play FIFA a lot, okay, video game. And we were playing FIFA 2017, I think, or 2016. And we were trying to create, we always played this custom World Cup, which is where you kind of pick teams for each other and distribute the teams, and then it's like a bracket based system, and we had to do this all the time by hand. And so one day after I picked up on lots of programming skills, I was like, okay, let me just create an app for you guys. So we worked on and actually created a custom app just for us that we three can use. And you just hit one button. It would designate the right teams to all the three people, and it would have all the systems automated. And then when we would win, based on which teams won, it would determine what teams should go to the next round, the quarter-based system, what teams should then go and qualify to the semifinals, and then what teams and who should play in the finals. So, I mean, for me, it honestly helped me with everything. I was writing something that helped me calculate checks. I have written something in programming that helps me calculate my invoices, because I was doing I do lots of consulting. So I want to create an app that is best optimized for me. And, other tools are great, but you have to click lots of things to get to where you want. I didn't want that. I want something that was just perfectly worked just for me. So I was able to create a full-on invoicing app just for myself. And it's awesome. It saves me literally hours every week, like hours of time that I can use to then create more videos, enjoy more time with friends and family. These are just some examples of the vast majority of things programming can help you with. I use programming to get more clients for my Chesstastic business. If you go on chesstastic.com, I have my chess business there. I use that to find more clients, more schools that I could actually go and pitch my idea to, because I wanted to run my chess program in their schools, in their libraries. And then I ended up landing Schaumburg Public Library, and I've taught courses there, and I taught at a few other schools and libraries as well. So I don't know. Hopefully that answers some of your question there, Ryan. I think that programming can literally help you with anything in life. Even if you have a completely different career, you can use it to supplement and help you automate your daily tasks and things and really 10x yourself. So it's like assistant on steroids, who you don't even have to pay once you have acquired the skills. I mean, the ROI on programming is ridiculous. I think it's one of the highest. So that's why I think it's great. Okay. Can you refer me to any websites? Yes, cleverprogrammer.com. Enroll, enjoy the courses, and you're going to pick up lots of skills. Collaborate with the community. Okay. Other websites: udacity.com, edX, Team Treehouse, Coursera. Let's see what other websites are coming to the top of my head. Those were some of the resources I really used to learn. My course really just takes them and just squeezes all the best content and ideas from them, and then condenses it into one course, which is why I recommend my course for Python. But those are awesome resources. Check them out if you're stuck or need a different way of thinking. Okay, Dipanshu, I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. Dipanshu Pal. Currently, I'm 17 years old. How much time will it take for me to be a classic programmer, to learn artificial intelligence on my own? And what all languages do one have to learn for learning AI? It's not about languages. It's about concepts, programming concepts. So to learn AI, artificial intelligence, you have to learn artificial intelligence. But here's what I will recommend to you. Siraj Raval, another great YouTube channel that goes over coding, but he's heavily involved in machine learning and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence was one of the things I wanted to learn too, which is what got me interested in learning Python. Python is a great language for that. So learn basic Python skills, then you can actually jump into learning artificial intelligence stuff. Follow some tutorials and some blog posts or Siraj Raval to write code that does some machine learning stuff. Like let's say you have orange ball in your hand and your camera detects it orange and then changes the color of it to green. So even if you're moving it, the ball stays green the entire time. You can actually do that using Python. So, but you need to learn some skills. First, what I would recommend is start doing stuff and then learn the theory. So just copy paste code from somewhere. Even Siraj Raval might actually have code that you can just type it in. Make it work, right? Make it work. Have the orange ball turn green, and then start reverse engineering your learning around it. Then learn what that code meant, and then learn the subjects that are involved in understanding that piece of code better. Okay, so learn first, play first, enjoy first, and then wrap your learning around it, because I think that's going to be the most efficient use of your time. Whereas if you just learn theoretically all the time, you don't know which skills will give you a direct and immediate result. Oh, and I'm rocking the Niles North shirt because I just came back from the Niles North chess tournament. I was coaching the Niles North High School chess team. I gotta jump off in a second. I have a call with a client, so it's gonna be 1 hour, and I'm gonna jump. It's gonna be 1 hour long, and it starts in about 3 minutes. It's about to be 5 p.m. in Chicago, so I'm gonna jump off. And I think 1 second. Any short answer I can give. How long? Okay, I'm sorry. Richard just has really good questions. I just have to keep answering them. I'm sorry. Let's see if I can answer somebody else's questions. When start coding with Django and Flask? Milos asks. So I don't know if you are asking when you should start coding with Django and Flask, or you're asking when I will create the course. I will create the course very soon as soon as the Python OOP course is done. That's what the current students are going through. Once they're done with that course, I'm going to start working on the course where I teach you Django and Flask and how that works. But when you should start learning it is, I would say, once you become a little bit proficient in Python, once you can create some maybe GUI apps locally, then that will be a really good time, because then you just take your Python skills and your GUI object-oriented skills, right, your graphical user interface skills, you just take them online. That's what Django and Flask is going to allow you to do. That's all the time I have today, guys. I love you guys so much. I'm going to jump off. Honestly, thank you for your questions. They're amazing questions. I mean, each question I can probably make a video around it, but I tried to do my best. I'm sorry if there were some people who I didn't answer their questions. Filmmaker, Lua is not a good language to start off with. It's very complicated. I would go after learning something basic, okay? I have experience with functional languages like Clojure and Scheme. They're very difficult to wrap your mind around, and they're very recursive. So I would wait a second on Lua and then go back to it after I have some basic skills, so I don't get really confused, so people don't get confused by it. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I was going to be on only for like 5 minutes, but you guys just gave me so much energy and so many awesome questions that it just kept me live and being there for you guys. I'll try to get better. I will try to announce my streams before they go live. And thank you. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.